So I would say we got plugged in about January of last year when Pastor Jay started coming over here to Monroe. And I think, didn't you say that Pastor Jay asked you to be a part of his small group?
Yeah, he asked me to be in a small group, and I was like, the pastor, typically you go to a church and the pastor, you never really get to talk to him or see him too much, and I felt like when Jonathan came up to me and asked me that, it was real at a personal level, and so it just meant a lot to me. And then I got involved in a small group. And
so knowing that he was going to be a part of a Wednesday night small group, I was like, I've been wanting to try a small group. I couldn't figure out what small group to try. We had tried a couples family small group together. And that was a lot of fun because the kids could come, and it was a little bit chaotic, but it was
coordinated chaos.
It was great. We had a lot of fun, but being able to come here to the campus, and he had his men's small group, and then I could go to my women's small group, and then we could have the kids be watched by somebody else and not come running in and joining in all the chaos. I think that's what really drew us to small groups.
I was so used growing up just going to church, listening to the sermon and leaving. It just felt like more of a, just a routine. But now, being in a small group, I feel like I have a purpose, like I'm plugged into the church, especially when you're, around like-minded men, and you feed off each other, and we're getting in God's Word every time we're together, opening up and just being honest with one another and about real life. And life is tough. It's extremely important to be plugged in. I would say, just to me, it's being plugged in part of it, not just showing up and leaving.
I knew that I wanted to be a part of a small group, but I couldn't figure it out. And so I just asked somebody from our family small group. I was like, hey, what small group do you do on Wednesdays? And she was like, well, I go to Maryland's small group. So she invited me to try it out, and I'll never forget the first night that we were supposed to come to small group. We couldn't make it, but Katie sent me this picture of an empty chair in that small group room. And she was like, hey, we missed you, but we saved you a seat. Can't wait to see you here next week. And that was so amazing for me. And then the next week I went, and I was a little hesitant at first, but that group of women have become like sisters to me. I can't imagine doing life without a small group and a band of women behind me.